self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are conversation con artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are conversation con artists coming at you isolated, quarantine, COVID style. We've been doing this for a while. I don't know how it affects the audio. I ain't really listened to the show since we've been doing it like this. Ain't that sad that you literally listen to the show once we do it.
We really don't.
But I'm currently in Atlanta, and she is in where she lives, and
yes.
So if the internet starts to get choppy or cut off, it's because the internet here is like 25% of what mine is, almost trash. But we're back for another wonderful, fantastic episode. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on_point.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. Also, we're still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you'd like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists, and send it to us that way. And I think we actually have a letter this week.
We do. We got one from Miss Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on. We don't. But she sent us a letter. Red/Mr. On Point. Let me start off by saying that y'all's podcast is super entertaining and keeps me laughing all the time when commuting back and forth to work. Now to the bread and butter of this letter. Y'all, first, don't ever stop reading these damn Reddit posts because, my God, folks out here really got some serious ass issues. Second, I was going to ask y'all for the plug on how to find these Reddit posts, but I don't think they'll be as entertaining if I read them myself. Third, let's talk about this real life Joe Will from You on Netflix, aka Dave. This Reddit post, although long, was mind-blowing as fuck. So much so I had to listen twice to make sure I heard correctly, LOL. This dude really had the audacity to pay Alex 1,000 damn things, Cole Jackson's voice, to go out on a date, get his now wife all worked out, really feeling Alex, only for this clown to say, sorry, I'm not into sluts. Man, the wrong bitch would have fucked him up on sight. That was a gut punch to the ego. I'm surprised she ain't wind up in therapy. The effort and time dedicated, social media stalking, fake profiles, befriending her coworker, hanging out at the same bar, burning phones, etc., to stalk this poor woman, and then had the nerve to tell her that I was a dumb girl who was chasing guys out of my league and that I needed a reality check to see the best guy was right in front of my face. Bitch! She just put the CH on it. Just B-I and a bunch of H's. Bitch! Say it like a big crit. Big. He lucky she ain't fuck him up in real life. She's much too nice. There are so many layers to the story, but it'll be way too much to type. Fourth, I live for Red's responses to these Reddit posts. 9 times out of 10, she said exactly what I would say and do. Y'all two really balance each other out. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Miss Jones.
It's hilarious. Oh yeah, he was batshit crazy. Like, that is the craziest one so far.
Right.
The time, like the time. This is months and months and months of prep work. Like, that's so fucking psychotic. It still blows my mind. We can't. How you move on past that?
Counseling?
Be together after that?
Right. She said he should have went to counseling anyway. She should have went to damn therapy.
She should have.
After that shit, like,
Jesus.
Damn, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
And this, like, you see stuff like the show you know, and it's like, it's crazy, but it's fictional, so it's like, oh, okay. But this shit, to see it, how it would look in real life terms, nigga, what? No.
I think this just, I just think this verifies that, watching people like Joe on You just indicates that, it's people out here doing shit like this. It's people out here who got that kind of brain to where you can be so deeply manipulative that you can create people that, will come to your aid and be there for you, even though you're should be terrifying to them. You know,
That's
but
just, and then to mentor his brother, so he could do the same shit. And the fact that the brother was like, "Cool, got it, thanks, bro." Like, you, I guess he just really wanted the girl too, because I feel like if I had a family member who came to me and told me they did all of this shit trying to get me to do it, I would be concerned. Like, I'm finna have you committed. Are you fucking crazy? But the brother was like, "Oh, okay, no, yeah, I could do that."
mm-hmm.
Nigga, hell no. And I'm gonna just say it. And it's, whatever it is what it is. These got to be white folks. If I found out that these were black people, I would be very shocked and amazed.
That's ridiculous.
They got to be white.
They got to be white.
That level of deceit and malice, I just feel like shit. My God.
And you know what I was thinking is the most fucked up part about this? If she do get the courage up to leave him and just get the fuck on with the kid, then he gonna do this shit to another woman.
He is.
Because this shit worked. This shit worked flawlessly. On his part, for her, it's fucked up her self-esteem. But I would hope that the next woman would kill him after she found out. Like,
if the next woman was me, yeah.
well, you already wouldn't date a white man, so.
True.
But I hope the next woman, once she find out, I hope she be like, okay, and then she put a plan into action to actually kill him, not be found out, and then get insurance money from murder.
Yes, that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, so.
Fuck. Yeah, that was crazy. I'm glad that people enjoy the Reddit posts because I enjoy reading them, and what I've been trying to do, like I find them right before the show, so they fresh. Like,
so our reactions are like immediate to the thing because we're just trying to, and that's on purpose. We try not to collaborate that much on what we're talking about because, it's been a couple of episodes where a lot of stuff was kind of rehearsed-ish because we either talked about it so much in the show or I fucked up and deleted the show and we had to do it over. I've done that a couple of times.
But yeah, like those be our authentic reactions to, and I think that's funnier if we read it beforehand and had time to like I don't want to have time to process it. I want y'all to hear the process of me processing it. Cause that's what y'all hear. When I'm like my voice get loud and shit, that's me processing.
Mm-hmm. She be processing like a motherfucker too. Y'all should see the shit.
Should be wild, man. Hell no.
But that being said, I got some Reddit letters.
Your Reddit choices be about to give me a coronary.
Look, man, I got two weird ones, man. One of them is mental health. It ain't really weird. It's just fucked up. But let's go for it. My brother, 26-year-old male, purposely triggered my husband, 36-year-old male, PTSD leading to a horrible incident. She's a 31-year-old female, family is threatening to cut me off if I don't leave my husband.
That's so. Wait a minute. I want to make sure I have this right. Her brother triggered her husband's PTSD and the family want her to leave the husband?
Yes.
Okay. This already some bullshit, but go on.
It's definitely some bullshit. This is incredibly fresh, and I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to tell the story. Without getting into too many details, my amazing husband, we'll call him John, is former military and was involved in an incident which left him with severe PTSD. He's been in therapy for a while and is doing better, but he still struggles. However, he's never made me feel unsafe. My whole family is aware of John's issues and as a result don't really like him. They feel like I'm wasting my time helping him through this instead of finding someone flawless and without issue, I guess, including my younger brother who we'll call Rick. Rick is the baby of the family and an asshole. My family has sheltered and made excuses for him as long as I can remember. Rick and John previously got along, but after an incident where Rick stayed on our couch and left the doors unlocked, John needs them locked to feel secure, and got a gentle scolding, he's made it his mission to treat John's PTSD as something to be messed with for his own amusement. Examples: jumping out and yelling when he sees him. As a result, John makes a point to avoid Rick, which my family seems to think is unreasonable. My family had a gathering this past week. Our body of government has increased the number of people who can gather outdoors. We didn't violate a quarantine order to celebrate the life of my aunt. As this meant a lot to me, I asked my husband to attend even though Rick would be present. Normally when we're out in public, I stay close to John so I can tell if he's having a hard time and direct him to a quiet place. We arrived and everything was going well. It wasn't gloomy. It was a celebration, so plenty of kids were running around in the yard and they were socializing. John let his guard down and went off to talk to some of the guys in the extended family who were playing with the kids while I talked to my parents. They, along with my uncle, made a point to ask if John could play nicely with Rick as he was on the way, which I mostly ignored. About a half an hour later, Rick shows up and the problem starts. Rick is talking to a teenage cousin of mine and dropping several extremely crude swear words. John, who was playing with the kids, tells him that there are children nearby and to have some respect for the occasion. This turns into an argument with Rick mocking my husband and my husband basically telling him to grow up. Rick stormed off, got in his car, and left. About 20 minutes later, Rick shows back up and hangs out across the yard, so we think it's over. Out of nowhere, Rick sneaks up behind John and pushes a cap gun. I later found out he had just gone to the store to purchase into his back and clicks it, firing off a loud pop. This led to my husband shoving me hard behind the table out of what he thought was danger and me hitting my head. I remember standing up to see several of my family members pulling my husband, who was in hysterics, off of Rick. I remember seeing my husband wrestle the cap gun from Rick and hit him several times. I remember physically cradling my husband and walking him out to the car. Hold on. I lost my place because they switched it up. Out to the car as he was inconsolable. Cops weren't called as Rick has a criminal history. I ended up needing stitches in my head. My husband has been an absolute wreck, blaming himself for my injury and causing an issue with my family. My entire family is threatening to cut me off unless I divorce my husband, telling me that he's violent and dangerous, and that by staying with someone who would attack my brother over a little ribbing, I don't value my family. Most of them can get fucked, but I love my parents and they're agreeing with everyone. They specifically told me that John created a spectacle and they can't condone me living with him anymore. Rick has left me voicemails apologizing to me, but saying he was just trying to show me what John is really like. They use my head injury as proof that he's abusive. I feel like they're all trying to gaslight me into seeing Rick as the victim, but at the same time, I'm terrified of losing my family. They've also tried showing up at the house to rescue me, and I've had to tell them to leave. They're also spreading gossip about him to anyone who will listen, and I don't know what I should be saying publicly in his defense to help him without completely torpedoing my family relationships. I also don't know how to make my husband feel like I don't blame him, that he's not a bad person or partner. I have no intention of leaving my husband, and I refuse to make him apologize to Rick, but I don't want to lose my mom and dad. How do I make them see that Rick started this issue and that my husband might have challenges but isn't a bad person? I need to find a way to make them want me in their life while also respecting my marriage and placing blame where it should be. I'd love to hear from people who've been torn between family and their partner, or who have had families who hated their partner and found a way to make it work out for everybody. I love any advice on how to fix this. Too long didn't read. Asshole brother got into an argument with my husband and purposely triggered his PTSD, resulting in a fight. Family took my brother's side and they're forcing me to choose between them and my husband.
Your family is a group of bitches. You need to let them leave you. You're gonna be better off. What? First of all, Rick is a dick. Rick is Rick is a micro penis. He's a small dick. Because that's worse.
Bruh.
He purposely triggers this man PTSD. Everybody is on him like he did something wrong. Let me tell you something. If I'm out somewhere and somebody come up and put a cap gun into my back and pull that shit, I don't have PTSD and I'm going to whoop their ass. So I can't imagine somebody that has PTSD. And a little ribbon, your family is some fucking bitches. You ain't gonna be the answer to your question is that there's nothing you're gonna be able to do because your family is fucking crazy as shit. This shouldn't even be a thing. Rick, they couldn't even call the police when they don't even like your husband because Rick got fucking warrants and shit. Rick is a loser. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Ma'am, they showing up to the house trying to rescue you. They talking shit about your husband and out in the street. There's nothing. This is not a situation of my family don't like my boyfriend because of his job or my husband because of what he does. It ain't no shit that's easily like remedied. Okay, your family are some insensitive gaslighting bitches. Sorry.
Damn. No, you're fine. They is fucked up, man. I wonder how do you raise somebody that's that much of an asshole? Like what happened? What happened to make them be so like did they drop him on his head when he was little and now they feel so bad that they just don't give him any fault or take accountability or responsibility for shit? Like how do you raise somebody that is that level of dick
By
that will
never
take somebody's
allowing them to
I
take
mean
responsibility. That's just what you just said. The fact that they probably been making excuses for his bitch ass his whole life, and that's why he's completely comfortable. Hell no.
it's fucked up. And I mean, it's already clear that, her family ain't fond of mental health issues because they've already decided that he fucked up because he got PTSD, not because he's done any behaviors, but because he got PTSD, and it's clear that her family is very insensitive to people who have PTSD. So it's clearly that they don't really fuck with mental health. And so the fact that he's a dickhead by not being held accountable and he's using the mental health issue as a tool to get back at him. It's just fucked up, man. Rick probably needed that ass whooping, and he needed to have a police call on him. To be honest,
He
but
really did.
I don't, I don't think that there's anything that she can do. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I don't think she will really lose her parents. I think they'll come around eventually. But the reality is, if they are that indoctrinated by Rick's bullshit, and if they are that accommodating to his choices in life, you've been in second place for a long ass time anyway.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's very much that she's gonna be able to do to get her folks on her side. But I think her parents will come around eventually. And
This
it's just a matter of time before Rick do something that's too fucked up to recover from.
this nigga left the party with the sole intent to go and buy something to purposely trigger this man who did nothing to him other than have some decorum about yourself. It's children around, don't curse. That made you so angry that you go and buy a cap gun. And for them talking about her husband, to see this what we talking about, he dangerous. He tried to push her out of the way to save her life because he thought it was a real fucking gun. What are you people seeing? What are y'all talking about? He's dangerous. Rick is dangerous. Rick is one of them people who don't know what limits are, and so because of that, he a habitual line stepper. And one of these times he gonna step across the line that's gonna get himself or somebody else in this codependent ass family hurt.
It's fucked up.
Oh my god.
Bruh, y'all gotta understand, man. I mean, families got secrets, and everybody listening, I'm pretty sure y'all done been through some shit in y'all family, but y'all gotta understand, like, reading these Reddit posts really put some fucking perspective into your life. Like, not even just, but as a counselor, counseling put perspective into my life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
because
directly.
yeah.
But this Reddit post shit, it don't even get to the level. Counseling don't even get to the level of this shit that often. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that, the big situation we talked about last week, if that lady came into my office, I'd be like, God damn, ma'am, that shit. you know, this situation, I'd be definitely sure to have her get Rick into counseling because you can't manage your PTSD by having your wife just shuffle you into a quiet space.
Oh, John,
And
you said Rick. You'll have her get John into some
I'm
counseling.
sorry, got to get John into some
Ain't no
counseling
counseling for
because
Rick.
yeah, you can't just no. Rick need to get his ass beat and put in the hospital, and maybe that will keep him from making them decisions. Like he the kind of person that's gonna have to learn from his mistakes in a
Mm-hmm.
fucked up way. But John, you can't just expect your mate to usher you to a quiet place and keep you away from her siblings and your PTSD stay intact. I don't know if he's in counseling or not, but I mean, PTSD can be something that can be much, much more easily managed with, ongoing consistent therapy.
Well,
So,
yeah, but it can. But it's like, even if he's in therapy, every encounter with her brother that's triggering him. Like, usually when people have PTSD, the people around them are supportive, and so, everybody's trying to do what they can to not trigger it. He has somebody that purposefully triggers his shit because he's an asshole. So, like, even with the counseling, like, they just need to not be associated with Rick at all, because he's gonna be counterproductive to um any advancements that he would make in dealing with his PTSD. If every time I see this nigga, he doing shit like popping cap guns, oh, I'm glad he whooped his ass. That's the best part. The best part of that story was that Rick got his ass whooped. Best part of the story. Should have stomped him out.
should have. I just wish he could have got a good bit more in. You know what I'm saying? He was at, but and this it was there's the aunt funeral celebration. That's so fucked up.
That sounds like a funeral in my family. Folks be
Yeah,
too much.
but and like I said, I ain't trying to put the responsibility of these situations on John. Um, Rick just should have got his ass beat long before this moment.
Yeah.
you know. But that's the first Reddit situation.
My heart, I'm gonna have to take some blood pressure medicine. Because listen, it took everything in me not to interrupt you when you was reading it, because every few sentences I was like, "What the fuck?" internally.
Okay. This post had an update, but they deleted the update. And this one is long too, but there's a couple of long posts. Um, and then we'll move on to viral posts. My 24 male, he's a 24-year-old male girlfriend, 26-year-old female, fully believes that she is a cat in a human's body. um, I know people are going to think I'm either trolling or baiting, but please read before you comment. This post has nothing to do with gender or trans issues, and I'm in no way intending to be offensive or anything. So, girlfriend and I have been together for nearly 8 months, and she's always been a very quirky and nerdy person. Does cosplays, very into anime and role playing, etc. Nothing too weird. We've been kind of distant lately with everything going on, and me, as an essential worker, so we haven't been seeing each other, only to talk for half an hour a day. Well, last Tuesday we got to hang out at her place, and she wore cat ears and a belt with a tail the entire time. At first, I thought it was either going to be a sex surprise or her testing a new cosplay, but nope. She sat me down, asked me if I really do love her, and then hit me with a very long monologue that essentially summed up to, "I'm a cat in a human body." Wish I was joking. I thought I misunderstood and then believed that maybe it was a weird joke, but she kept being serious about it and doubling down. I left shortly after because I had a shift at work and I still believed it was an oddly drawn out joke, nothing more. She ended up texting me with resources to help me understand, which is when I realized that she really is serious. Apparently, she believes she's an otherkin, a person who holds the belief that they are not human. She says that she was introduced to this by one of her friends months ago and has since joined discourse and communities of others like her. Her friend believes that he is a demon trapped in a human body, and she sent me a testimonial that was supposed to be touching, but basically just about a dude thinking he is Naruto. I'm not joking. She explained her other kin type as being a cat, and now she 100% thinks she's a cat. How did she know she was a cat, you ask? According to her, sleeping a lot, liking the sun, hating water, feeling more comfortable crawling on all fours, and claiming to understand what cats are saying and being able to talk to them through meowing. She has also apparently been distant with nearly everybody we know in real life, as I got multiple messages asking me to let her know to be in touch with them. My head has been spiraling this past week. I keep thinking it's a joke, but nope, she is deathly serious about this and has handed in her 2 weeks resignation at her job because cats don't work. Again, I wish I was joking. I've been because her to make a Patreon and make other content that they will contribute to. which she brought up when I asked her about quitting her job.
You went
To
out
make things
after you
worse,
said you went out after you said she quit her job. So I didn't hear what you said after that.
um,
I wish I was joking, but again, I wish I was joking. That's the last thing I heard.
again, I wish I was joking. I've been limiting my interactions with her ever since because this is hurting my head a whole lot and I just can't cope. She has also surrounded herself with a large amount of yes men and women who support her 100% and are enabling this. Some even encouraging her to make a Patreon and make other kin content that they would contribute to, which she brought up when I asked her about quitting her job. To make things worse, I can't discuss this with anyone in real life because I know how crazy it sounds and I know that leaving her is a valid option, but I'm in love with this woman and now I don't recognize her and I know that there is something very, very wrong and I can't reach out to her and she refuses to hear anything from me unless it's unconditional support. What the fuck do I do? Okay, now he's edited this a bunch of times, and on Reddit when they edit, it's based off of what they hear people commenting. So I don't know what he's saying, but let's go through the edits. Edit: just got off work and was very surprised with the amount of comments. I honestly just expected a bunch calling me crazy. I'm reading through them now, and I want to say thank you everybody who took the time out of their day to give me advice. I truly appreciate it. To address some things, her and I have been friends for 2+ years prior to dating, so that's why I'm reluctant to just up and leave. I've read a comment asking if she has a history of mental illness, and not to my knowledge, aside from being diagnosed with mild social anxiety in high school. I'm going to try and reach out to her mom to get her to check up on her and maybe even visit. They have a good relationship, so maybe that will help. Yesterday was the first time I truly confronted what was going on, as I've been kind of shelving it and just praying and hoping it was some kind of drawn out joke. But now that I've had time to truly ponder it, I think that it's been a long time coming. She's been buying a lot of cat memorabilia and a lot of her cosplays are cat related. And when I brought up the possibility of me getting a cat in the near future, she made a joke about being too territorial for a cat. And now that I think about it, well, yeah. I don't know who Demon Man really is. All I know is that he has been part of her virtual D&D group since last year. Also, so far, no litter box in the picture. Sorry to disappoint, relieve some of you. When I asked her about her plans as a cat other than quitting her job, she had sent me her to-do list, which I didn't bother opening or reading until yesterday because I was too busy wishing all of this was a fever dream. The to-do list includes purchasing a scratch post for her nails, switching to a carnivore diet, and dyeing her hair red because she's a ginger cat. Yep. As much as it hurts, I have no intention to continue to be in a romantic relationship with her because she will absolutely not hear anything if it's not 100% support. I love her, but I love myself, and I don't want to be dragged down to something like this, especially when it feels like I'm talking to a brick wall. I will, however, try to remain in contact with her just to make sure she's not spiraling towards a mental break. I will visit her today to have a talk and officially break it off, even though she's been refusing to see me unless I'm completely on board. I will update if anything interesting happens, then I'll buy a couple of bottles of alcohol and down them in my flat, no judgment. I really enjoyed the cat puns, and apparently I need to Google who Maureen is. That's it.
I don't even know where to begin. um, I do think it probably best for him, to leave. I think it froze again.
Hold on, you cut off. What did you say? What did you say initially?
I don't even know where to begin.
Okay.
I do think it sounds like it'd be best for him to leave this situation because she's I don't even know. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Wow. I mean, listen, this is it's a small percentage of the population, but this is a thing. That's a thing. Furrying is a thing. Like,
Yeah, I met somebody on Tinder that was furrying. They had their pictures of their furries and everything
this
drawn up.
shit's so fucking weird too. Um, if you don't know what furrying is people that dress up in like mascot uniforms. I guess it's like a sexual kink, I guess. Um, I don't know, man. Like, what got her here? Like, obviously she's somebody that's easily influenced, because what it sounds like is Demon Man started talking to her about, being a demon. And she, was like, you know what? I really like cats. And then, you know what? I have a lot of cat-like behaviors. He's a demon. Maybe I'm a cat.
Bruh, that shit is so stupid. But
She
I
quit her
mean,
fucking job.
I really would look at this like a mental psychotic break. I actually had a kid on my caseload who had a psychotic break, and he thought he had a tail until he took medication. He acted as if he had a tail, like the way he sat down and everything was based on him having a tail. So it's like, how much of this is mental health, and how much of it is just that alternative, way of existing? Like, the
So,
fact that I could find some people like this on Google, because I did find a girl who was cat like on Bumble, not Bumble, okay, Cupid, and then I found the furry girl on Reddit. I mean on Tinder. So I mean,
I think with most of like alternative lifestyles, I think it crosses over into mental health when it becomes an issue, right? Like if she just like to put the cat ears and the tail on, even if she was in the furrying, but she's gone so far as to alter her entire life. Like she quit her job, which what the fuck?
hmm
Like she's, once it crosses over and it starts negatively impacting your life, it becomes an issue. It's no longer just like a lifestyle choice.
yeah,
Um, and so because it's negatively impacted her, I would say this is more mental health than anything.
yeah.
Because she's just being real irrational and erratic.
And I think, well, I want to say the biggest issue is like how fast the transition was, but in his update he was saying that it's pretty much been a slow transition. He just wasn't paying no attention to it.
Yeah, because I mean, people like cats. People like, you have people that fixate on like an animal. Like you'll go to somebody's house that really likes elephants, and they got elephant shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So like her having this kind of fixation on cats is not necessary. This doesn't necessarily mean that we were gonna arrive here. So I can see
Yeah,
how it might have snuck up on him because liking cats is one thing. Thinking you're a cat and quitting your job and meowing and shit. So how far is this even gonna go? Because she said she quit a job because cats don't work. But you're speaking to me in human words, and cats don't do that. Like, is she gonna just relegate herself to only meowing at some point? Like, how far down
man.
this rabbit hole?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the first comment on Reddit.
Okay.
It says cats don't really communicate with each other through meows, though those are mostly for humans. And the next person says, wait, if that's how she communicates with cats, that would mean dun dun dun, she's a human. OP let her know immediately.
Yeah, man. I think and with her, like sometimes people you're not gonna be able to be helpful. Like if she ain't gonna like hear him out, listen to him, then it ain't a lot he gonna be able to do but just leave her. Leave alone. And like as far as caring about her, you cared about who she was pre-cat. Like her personality and all of that. That has drastically changed and she's a whole nother feline, as it were. Now. What the I listen, I don't even if
If
first of
you
all
was
I would
dating a man, if you was dating a man that was like you was in love with him, y'all been together for 8 months, and he sat down and said, "Hey, I just wanted to, do you love me? Okay, well, I'm glad you let me know that, but I need to tell you something. I am a silverback gorilla in a man's body. I'm strong. I can jump high. I work hard, and I need you to accept me."
once I determined that he was in fact not joking, I would go down to probate court in whatever county we resided in, and I would file a petition to have him involuntarily committed to get some help. That's what I would do. If I loved him and we gonna get you some help. And I know you ain't gonna willingly go because you really believe this shit. So I will go to probate, file a petition, have him involuntarily committed, and see what happens from there.
Not only would he not go, but he would throw shit on you. He would like just throw some shit at you. Like, I'm a gorilla bitch.
Yeah.
This is how we show you that we are not happy. We throw
And
shit.
so that is why. Because when you file a petition, sheriff, go pick their ass up and take them to a psych hospital. So I wouldn't even have to deal with it. So that's what I would do. I'll have a petition filed.
Yeah.
Because he obviously is sick. You're sick. And I'm going to get you some help, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, you need help, bitch.
Like, that's beyond, again, people have alternative lifestyles. People have different kinks, and that's fine. But at the point that it starts negatively impacting your everyday life, it's problematic and something's wrong. And her quitting her job, like, that's shit. Hell no.
Yeah.
And she gonna, what kind of shit she gonna make? What are they called? What's a kin? Something other kin?
Other kin.
She gonna make some other kin. I wonder, like, now I'm gonna have to research this shit because now I'm curious as to how far reaching that is, and if she would actually even be able to make a substantial living doing that.
Do it. Do the research. Bring it back to us.
I will, because I'm curious, because that's fucking weird.
Yeah, bring that research. But
Yeah.
that's all I got for the Reddit letters, man. I don't even want to get into this shit no more. It's just too weird.
Other kin. Oh, Jesus. I guess it's better a cat than, yeah, a monkey that throws feces. There are other animals that she could have said she was that would have been more problematic, I suppose.
Yeah. But that's more problematic animals, but whatever.
Hell
But yeah,
no.
that's
Okay.
it. The letters.
Well, if you have a question that you would like for us to answer, thank you so much to Mrs. Jones for your commentary as well. And like I said, I wanted to know if people were enjoying the Reddit post, so it's good to hear from somebody that it is a part of the show that y'all enjoy. But if you have a question, comment, you want to comment on one of these crazy ass stories too, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists. Send it to us that way.
Okay. Let's get into some viral posts, niggas. This post says, "I sleep with her," and it's a big blue line. So he can patrol all night. I'm fucking a cop's wife.
Wow. That's rude as fuck.
It's rude. It is rude. Like, this get to another level of police disrespect. I mean, there's police officers out there whose wife is getting fucked by somebody else and it's not an open relationship, yo.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It just don't get caught. You're definitely gonna die.
Yes.
Next one. 2020 has been so insane that we never got to discuss Andrew Gillum being in a whole gay orgy crack house. I hope he's okay though. You remember that story?
So much has happened that a lot of things, like, didn't the Pentagon release something about UFOs? Like, nobody, like, it's just been so much.
Well, I think that was an attempt to try to like thwart some shit about
Didn't
the
work.
UFOs. This shit right here is literally disconnected and should theoretically have fucked up his whole life, but ain't nobody talked about it. And it kind of looked like a setup, man. They literally had him damn near butt naked in a room with dudes with that stereotypical throw up on the floor with pills next to it, and they found a bag of like meth in there. Like, what? Andrew Gillum was not that stupid running for the governor of Florida. You mean, okay, I don't know. It seemed like a setup, but maybe
2020
not.
got people doing some crazy shit. Maybe he just, I don't fucking know.
This says y'all want to get the brand new PS5, but you're not even man enough to be in your son's life. P.S. He's 5.
Oh shit. That's kind of hilarious.
It's hilarious, but hilarious in a way that she meant for it to be serious, but it's really corny to me. Like,
Very corny.
but it's funny. It is funny. Next, allies reserve 2 tickets for this Tulsa rally on 45's website to add 2 empty seats. DM me screenshot so I know it's real. So, Trump was supposed to do his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Juneteenth. And you had to reserve tickets for the rally. So a whole bunch of brown people was encouraging white people that were allies to, reserve 2 tickets so that a bunch of his seats would be empty.
He moved it. I mean, so according to him, he talked to a lot of his African American friends and colleagues, and they let him know about, maybe he shouldn't do it on Juneteenth. And so they moved it either to the day before or the day after. I don't really keep up with him. But also wait a minute, let me see. There's some history with that place that he chose as well that makes it problematic.
Tulsa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street.
Yeah. Like that was all intentional. But yeah, he talked to Candace Owens. He talked to Ben Carson. He talked to that black preacher that always be at him. He talked to that black dude that they always have sitting behind him in them in his rallies. Let me see who else he talked to. He talked to Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice. Probably talked to Thomas Sowell. They could probably talk to some other what people will call coons, people who are not really of and or for the culture. Probably talk to a lot of people that was like, you know what? Let's give these Negroes a bone. I mean, we're on your side. We got brown skin, but we don't see skin color. We just see your good intentions, old Master Trump. And I think that them colors would be better off, maybe some of them voting for you if you just gave them the Juneteenth. But we still doing it in Tulsa. A part of me feel like that was Stephen Miller's idea. A part of me was like, Mr. President, we need to send a clear message that fuck them niggas. We need to send that message. But we don't need to say it. We need to say we love them, but we need to say fuck them in actions. And so we need to do this on Juneteenth in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fuck them niggas. I feel like that's some Stephen Miller shit.
So tone deaf that he had to be told, and that he don't had nobody around him when this shit was scheduled that was like, whoa, this is probably not a good idea, Juneteenth. Like, nobody said anything up until almost time for the event. But also, hilariously enough, I guess he just had a birthday, but everybody turned it into Obama Day.
Oh yeah,
Shit
yeah,
was hilarious. Obama Day was trending on Trump's birthday.
Fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga. Obama Day, baby.
So funny. I love my people. We petty as fuck. We like kings and queens of petty. You ain't gonna out petty us.
Have you ever played a Kirby game?
Yeah.
This says Kirby has no ankles because the goddess Athena saw what became of Achilles and sought to fashion a warrior that this time would not be plagued by a single flaw. People just really don't be having shit to do, boy.
Way too in depth into that. Kirby's just a pink ass blob that eats shit. Like, you turn that into something, try to turn it into something profound when it's not.
Now, I don't know how true this is, but it might be worth looking into. When I found out that Akon was actually selling Africa out to China and that everything we think he did positive building it up was actually has actually been to benefit China's takeover of Africa, I knew he was a bitch. If that's what's happening, boy, that's fucked up. You know, they saying that Akon invested $1 billion in Africa, or just this irrational high amount of money in order to get likes and stuff. And I'm like, when the fuck did Akon get $1 billion
Yeah.
or that much money? Because to build up Africa, it's like that sound. I mean, okay, I didn't even think that China might be, trying to take over Africa or get more land or whatever they trying to do. I just was like, damn, he must be doing some behind the scenes shit. He must be selling consoles like Soldier Boy.
I don't know. I know. Wasn't he the one that everybody was upset with recently because he was in the studio with Tekashi 69 or
I
something
don't
with
know.
Tekashi 69?
Bro, Nicki Minaj did a whole song with Tekashi 69. Uh,
The f-
they are really going to let this nigga get back into this motherfucker and then help him do it. I mean, I guess she ain't in gang culture, so maybe that ain't, she don't feel like that applies to her, following them standards and rules. But man,
this
that
is a
shit.
little nigga that he wearing lace front wigs. I'm not even. That's not a joke. He is literally wearing lace front wigs and shit. Like
That
the
ain't his
people
hair.
that no, mm-mm.
How you know?
Because there's a video of him getting his hair done.
Oh shit.
Like, which I mean, I guess it makes sense because he dyed it all these crazy colors. That shit would be very difficult to upkeep if it was his hair. But
You right.
the people that people make famous these days, like music.
It's a whole bunch of artists that have predicted that when he come back, he was gonna be popular because he said fans don't care about that street shit. Fans don't care about it,
But he
And
just corny in general. Like minus the snitching, minus him going, being locked up for however long he was locked up, and all of the rumors that he was gonna be in protective, the witness protection program. Minus all of that, he just a corny ass nigga. Like I don't get the appeal. And I mean, I guess it's for the younger folks because I don't get it.
I mean, him as a I listen to watching the viral videos and TikToks and all different stuff. You hear songs and you don't know who the artists are. I mean, seeing King Vader, he did a video where it was a Power Ranger bank robbery type video, and his song was playing in the background. I didn't know it was his song, and I had watched that video like 20 times, and I was like jamming to that song. When I found out it was Tekashi 69, I was really disappointed in myself. Number one, but also more than anything, I do understand how the appeal of him. He really used hardcore ass lyrics with a good ass beat with a decent hook to reel people into liking his shit. It's a simple ass recipe, and the way that his voice and his inflection work, it's effective. People like it, and I can see how, even though I don't like him, But sometimes the songs that people use for the videos they do, that's made by him, is relevant for that video. Um, but fuck him. Next, but another thing is, I be watching Vlad TV and he be getting gangsters in there talking, and there was one dude who was saying, Vlad, you get people indicted, bro. Like you be having people on here talking about their history and everything. And Vlad, man, I just do not like Vlad. But he's like, I didn't do anything. I don't get them. They don't have to talk about anything they don't want to. And he was like, Vlad, you a baiter, man. He just was telling. But he brought up another dude's interview, and he was saying, this guy said he was like bringing up scenarios. He said, so if somebody kills your mom, you wouldn't call the police. He was like, no. He was like, if somebody, and he just kept going through all this stuff. He said, you're not gonna call the police. He said, no, we don't call the police. We handle that shit on the streets. He said calling the police is for civilians. He said if you're not a part of this gang shit, you just a regular ass person out here, and some shit happen, and you don't know about what the people doing, then you're a civilian. That's who the police calls are for. But if you if you come to my house and you playing the game in the front room and you look to the back and see that we doing stuff we ain't got no business, you a part of this now. You can't snitch. You can't tell. You a part of the system. And so, I mean, I like that there is a discernment that, you know, snitching is when you're a part of the system and benefiting from it somehow, and you decide to tell, versus if you don't know nothing about the system and then you tell. I'm glad that there are people out there who discern that, because for some of those people it'll be reasonable to know that, because a lot of kids that I work with just think snitching just means telling generally, but you got to be in the shit, you know, for that to be the case. But moving on. I made voodoo dolls of some of y'all, and I'm watching the coochie part for you.
Rude.
Yeah. That's clear that a man did that. Doubt a woman did that. I mean, I guess she could be, but I don't
No,
know.
that sounds like something Kaya would say. It could be a woman.
Kaya, I guess. Um, Next. Look, we know that all lives matter. It's why we locked down the entire world over a virus. Y'all bitched about that too.
Was ready to ride in the streets about not being able to go out and do shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about your grandma no.
Now, Leroy Ketchum tagged me in this, and I had already seen it, but it ain't nothing new for us. Someone on here said the old wood floorboard said Cracker Barrel squeaked the N word when a black person steps in the door, and I can never forget it. So this whole post was about, you know, what's the most racist? Is there any way that you walked into and felt like it was racist
I
immediately?
saw
And
that and they went in on
everybody
Cracker
said
Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
I still love
I just wanted to point out that I've been saying this about Cracker Barrel for the fucking longest, okay? I wouldn't walk into a Cracker Barrel and a white person wouldn't walk into a place called Nigger Tub. It just, why are we even going there? Why? Come
But
on
the
down to Nigger
pancakes,
Tub for some breakfast.
look, people go into Bojangles chicken and eat it.
Yeah, Bojangles the pirate.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do before I go to work? I'm gonna
Go
get some
get some of
Bowberry
them Bowberry
biscuits.
biscuits. Hey y'all, I put her on them biscuits, man. I told her to get some. She was in the line. She got them, and she can't turn back now.
That shit is delicious. My Lord. And look, I really feel some type of way every time I'm going. I don't ever go in. Well, we can't go in right now, but even before Corona, I wasn't going in Bojangles because I just feel like I'm disappointing the ancestors to walk into a restaurant named fucking Bojangles. But them biscuits be hidden.
Mm,
Them
yeah,
blueberry biscuits is the truth.
they delicious, y'all.
Oh my God,
Um,
they put some cream on. Oh, they're so good. I'm gonna have a Homer Simpson moment.
somebody on the post said, it just don't feel right eating breakfast next to a cotton gin. Like they had a whole bunch of funny ass posts.
They did. It was hilarious.
Um,
I laughed, but I'm still gonna go to Cracker Barrel and get them biscuits and my baked apples because they delicious.
Ben Shapiro, who I don't like, said, I hope everybody really enjoyed that 1968 to 1980 period because we're about to repeat it. And a person responded, does this include the part in the middle where a lawless Republican president is held accountable by members of his own party and resigns in disgrace? Trump, old bitch, hoe ass. Is what she talking about.
Yeah, bitch is right.
Next, Jesus Christ was the original millennial. He still lived at home with his mom and stepdad in his 30s. He fermented his own alcohol. He thought he was God's gift to the world. And he tried to start a career as an influencer because he had 13 followers.
I hate whoever made it.
Y'all, this one threw me for a fucking loop, but it ain't really surprising because of who it is. Terry Crews
Yo,
this
nigga.
week said, any black person who calls me a coon or an Uncle Tom for promoting equality is a black supremacist because they have determined who's black and who is not. Now, this is a response to a comment that he made that basically said, fixing white supremacy without white people is creating black supremacy.
Which
And
is an
that is
oxymoron.
fucking bullshit. We do not have the clout in America to be motherfucking supreme. We don't. We just don't. We don't have the power. We don't have the positioning. We would need to literally flip the race reversal upside down in order for us to be able to take that power. And it still ain't enough of us to do it consistently. So black supremacy ain't real. It don't exist. And I really don't know who he was speaking to or what he was really trying to convey by saying that, but shit didn't work.
I'm so gonna get. I'm telling you, man. Like, I need to get a T-shirt that's made that says "Shutting the fuck up is free." Like, just this ain't the only tone deaf thing that Terry Crews has said, but black supremacy is an oxymoron. It's not. We're not. It's not. It would never happen because of the way that the world is currently set up. So I don't even know what he was trying to say. Like, Terry, sit the fuck down.
And let's
Shut
be
the fuck
real.
up is free.
If you're a black person that believes you're better than a white person, why? What has America shown you that makes you feel like you're better? Because on paper, white people are better.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that's only the case because they created a system. They created the paper, they created the rules, and they wrote it down. And so we know that on paper that's why they look that way. But there's no reason for us in America as black people to feel like we are supreme to white people. We just don't have the evidence to support it in our country. I feel like we better because we got melanin. So when all else fails, when everything else is accounted for, if we had to stand outside in the sun, we will feel better. I mean, that's clearly a better situation. I mean, that would be fuck us up if we was in Iceland, but we in fucking America. In America, that should work out. So every time Terry Crews posts something, I like him less and less, man. And the Old Spice commercials is what made me really fuck with him because they were funny and silly as hell. But
Somebody said he took his role in White Girls to heart.
he did. See, you like it.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
All right. This says next generation of black kids gonna be 8 years old knowing about LLCs, investing, self-love, taxes, self-defense, and much more.
They are, and I'm excited for it.
Maybe. But I don't feel like the nigga who said this kids is gonna know about it.
Oh, why is that?
They gonna know about LLCs. The nigga who posting this don't know about LLCs. Investing, self-love. I don't know why they think that this passive existence of all of this shit going on in our society gonna just automatically make kids know shit. I mean, the parents have to take this moment to be more intentional about educating them about this shit and teaching them about this shit. And so, I mean, I hope that this person that posted is meaning to educate their kids about this shit, but that don't mean that every one of them is. So if this the goal, how do we get parents to understand how to communicate this shit to their kids? That's a good question, an important question. But I hope that's the case. Just work got to be done to get there.
Yeah.
This dude made 3 posts. He said they think I'm about to carry my cousin casket and he owed me $20. Yeah, all right. Next post, my auntie called and said they got my $20, so I'm going ahead and carry him. The next one saying now they saying I can't come to the family reunion because I'm tripping over $20. Like, bro, that's fucked up, man.
Oh my God, you're not gonna care. They asked you to be a pallbearer, you're not gonna do it because he owes you.
Bruh,
The petty, the level of petty.
man, what level of poverty is this? Because $20, bruh, you could do better than that. You really could. Next one. What I'm gonna say? Oh, if you're 28 plus and a man is taking you to Red Lobster as a date, then you need to reevaluate the kind of man you're dating. If you're 28 and you're still evaluating men based on where they take you out to eat rather than the quality of time spent, you need to reevaluate your life. This is one of the reasons why men don't date anymore. Um,
Up
the
until that
next,
last sentence. I was with
these are two different people. I'm sorry. But the last person is an old lady named Hattie Kessler. I'm 85. I'm telling you, I was completely suck a cock for Red Lobster, Admiral's Feast, and biscuits.
That's disturbing.
Old
uh,
lady.
this idea. So B Simone, people are getting in her ass. She like, I don't really know who she is. She's like Instagram, like I don't know, like she's on Wild 'N Out. I don't really know about like her who she is outside of this, to be honest. But
Is that one of your stories?
it was
Well, let me do this last viral post.
okay.
Nickelodeon said SpongeBob is a twink and turned the replies off.
They say he asexual. That's why they say he part of the LGBTQ community. He's asexual people.
But yeah, next. You can go ahead. That was it.
Oh well, B Simone did an interview where she was saying that she didn't want to be with somebody that work a 9 to 5. She needs somebody that matches her hustle. She need a CEO, entrepreneur, and obviously you are allowed to have whatever qualifications for a mate that you want to have, but um, to say that you're not interested in dating somebody with a 9 to 5 because you don't feel like they will understand your hustle is stupid. um, and it offended a whole lot of people. And so what ended up happening from that is because she said that and people got upset, she apparently got a book that she supposedly wrote. But now it's coming out she plagiarized a bunch of shit. She took lists from other places and verbatim put them in her book. So now she's catching shit for that, which would never have happened because nobody was looking into anything with her. But when you start saying your hustle is more important or is more substantial than a 9 to 5, leads to problems. And that's how I feel about the Red Lobster. That's why I brought it up then, because like saying if you take me to Red Lobster is problematic. Like, but where do you think that somebody who's dating you who doesn't know you very well yet, where he supposed to take you to? He supposed to take you to Ruth Chris? Is that supposed to be what happens on the first date?
Man, you gotta earn that shit. I ain't taking nowhere special. I'm sorry. We're going to an ice cream place.
I do coffee dates. Like I don't have an expectation because it's about me getting to know you, meeting up with you, being able to get to know who you are. It's not like what I'm getting out of it. So it's actually if somebody on a first date wanted to take me somewhere expensive, like the one time that's happened to me is when I was dating the white pharmacist and he took me to the symphony. It was fucking weird. It's not that because that's not my expectation. My expectation is for you to be engaging, for you to be conversational. Like those are the things I'm looking for. Like not for you to feed me a ridiculously expensive meal, and that some kind of way tells me what I need to know about your character as a person. Like what the fuck? You realize that dickheads can take you to expensive places and treat you like shit, right? That's not a it's not indicative of who they are because they take you somewhere expensive. That's young-minded thinking to me.
Man, I don't hear that shit. I'm telling you. Like, especially, like, they were roasting her because she talking about living in her car a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing what she got to do. And she happened to be on top now. And now, oh, she way above niggas that work a damn job that's willing to put elbow grease into making a life happen. You know, she needs somebody to match her hustle. I mean, if that's your way of saying I want the money. But then they was also like, she came out before, like, they were roasting her for some other shit. Like, a few weeks ago, I can't remember what it was. She was basically saying her Christian faith won't allow her to accept something that was going on but she was out in the club wilding out, and so that people was calling her out about this shit. But I don't know who B. Simone is, man. She just got on her high horse really fast. Apparently, she got a makeup line.
Is it full makeup I know people talking shit about her eyelashes. I don't know if it's a full makeup line. Is it an eyelash line? I don't know. But like even that. So
B. Simone Beauty.
part of her conversation is that she stay up to 3 a.m. sending out her orders herself because she sends them out herself. Girl, I'd much rather have a 9 to 5. Like, it just, again, you are entitled to have your preferences and that's fine. But in this case, her preference it just caused her a lot more problems. Like I said, people, and I will continue to say probably for the rest of 2020, shutting the fuck up is free. And she fucked herself over. Like I said, that because then people started looking at this book she wrote, which is supposed to be about manifesting things in your life. And I know at least 2 things in the book were plagiarized. And so now the people that she plagiarized it from are coming out and getting upset and probably going to be seeking legal action. Like, she should have just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about I talked about SpongeBob. I'm gonna now talk about the just some of the cause of what's going on for since the protest, and one of them is they came for Paw Patrol, and Paw Patrol has a police officer cop dog named Chase, and a lot of white mamas are mad because they coming for they kids' little TV show with the police in it. But I just want to paint a picture of 2 different realities. One reality is white reality is that you get to look at the cop and say, hey, yeah, it's Officer Johnson. I can't wait to talk to him. He'll let me ride in his squad car. I like him. Yeah, police are heroes. And then you got another community who don't have the luxury of looking at police as heroes because they've come into our communities to fucking torment us because they don't give a fuck about the community that we live in. And so people who look at Chase don't look at him the same. And so I understand that people calling for his, calling for them to fuck with that police officer character. I understand both sides, I guess, but the reality is, can we have a society that makes cops valuable enough for everybody that somebody don't have a problem with a Chase existing? Right now, police just are not in a good light, and a fucking police dog on TV, kids ain't gonna look at the motherfucker the same. I talk about my story about my daddy going to jail. I remember the day that the police came in to raid our house after they had already picked him up. And I liked the police officers then because I had been taught in the whole white education system that cops were the good guys. And they came in there, and I remember saying hey and waving to a cop, and he didn't look at didn't look my way, and I know he heard me. And so that's not everybody's reality that a police officer is just good. And if you have the luxury of looking past what's going on and continuing to live your life as it is, then fuck you, fuck that dog too. What you got?
Beyonce, listen, and I mean I don't know how many of the Beehive listen to us, but I'm sorry, I don't want to see Beyonce a storm. I don't. Beyonce's music is great. I love her as an artist. Think she's amazing. As an actress, she sucks ass. I'm sorry for anyone who disagrees. But as a Marvel, I'm a fan, and I don't want to see her fuck Storm up. I dressed as Storm for Halloween, okay? It's how much I love Storm. I don't want her to fuck this up. She's not a good, no. She wasn't even, if anybody saw the live action remake of Lion King, she was a terrible Nala. And she ain't even had that many lines. Like, she was the adult Nala, so she didn't even say that much. But just eating that little bit of time, and she wasn't even on the screen. It was just her fucking voice wasn't even believable. So I don't want to see her as Storm. I'm sorry.
So they went ahead and verified that this talk that she was having with Black Panther 2 was about doing the soundtrack, not about acting in it.
Thank God.
And but like I saw a post that basically said during all this protest time, ain't nobody really talking about black women. They talking about black men. Black women are the most hated. But then it said, but as soon as Beyonce about to play Storm, y'all come for Beyonce and not playing Storm. And so it's like, I just don't understand why we gotta continue to create these equivalencies of bullshit. You
Because that
know?
has nothing. If it was another black actress that was a good actress, nobody would have said shit. This isn't about black women. And we do get a lot of shit. Like we do get the short end of the stick the more than anybody else. Not gonna argue with that. But there are instances where you can say something negative about a black woman and that shit is true. Beyonce's not a good actress. She just isn't. That ain't her lot in life. She sings and she sings very well. She's a performer. She puts on an amazing live show. But she is not an actress. She just ain't.
Mhm.
It's not tearing her down as a black woman. That's tearing her down as an actress. She's not she's not good. I'm sorry. She's not.
Um, do you have another story?
Um,
If you don't, I'm just gonna shotgun all of these and then we'll call it early because I got stuff to do here in Georgia to wrap up and just we've been having life stuff going on, so
yeah.
we didn't plan on having a long show today. But I did want to shotgun these because it's a lot of stuff that went on.
You can go ahead, shotgun. I'm good.
All right. Um, Let me just go down the list. Uh, Police reform uh, has been a dialogue this week about defunding the police. And just to give us a quick spiel about defunding and reforming, I think it's four parts to this. You got reform, you got dissolving, you got abolishing, and then you got defunding. Abolishing is a problem. It's only the extremists who want to abolish the police, even though the right is going to tell you that that's what the left wants, to abolish the police. Reform is what we do now. When police officers don't seem to be trained well enough and they kill somebody, we put more money into their system for training. The Minneapolis Police Department, their budget is $192 million. $192 million. And the police love to come out and say, we're not social workers, but they send us out on social work calls. We're not mental health, but they send us on mental health calls. They want us to do all of these jobs that we ain't equipped for. Well, we don't need to equip the cop for that shit. And defunding is basically saying, how can we take some of the money from the police and put it into other systems that help? It is not about abolishing the police. It is not about the police going away. So police officers are going to say, oh, if they defund us, we're not going to have any police. Who's going to call? Like Tucker Carlson, he was like, well, if they defund the police, then the police aren't going to be able to come to your house. But they don't fucking come to the hood no way. And so if the hood ain't gonna have the police acting like the police act in the suburbs, then what the fuck can we put in those communities that will help that situation? That's what defunding is about. Research the shit yourself. Look up Camden, New Jersey, and look at what they did. They defunded and they dissolved the police department there. Check that out. Yeah, I had B Simone. Because of all of this going on, I don't know if y'all know about y'all have to know now, but because of all the protests, all of these brands have come out in support of Black Lives somehow. I mean, you couldn't even play a video game. Apex Legends, Call of Duty, they all had Black Lives Matter screens. All of these companies are putting out Black Lives Matter statements. A lot of these companies are coming out with plans and like money that they finna put into projects and stuff for the Black community, which I respect that. But that don't come with its own level of criticism and problem, because you got a lot of Black folks saying, "Oh, it's real convenient to say this shit now." The way I look at it is that nobody wanted to be the first one to turn that table over. Nobody wanted to be the first one to say this is how we feel. But now that this moment is happening, and all of these companies are saying it, I think I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't know if anybody expected all of these companies to really know But now it seems like they're willing to listen. But the fact that every one of them is doing it, we know that some of them don't give a fuck. They're just doing something that's going to keep them relevant. And so I think for us as a community, we need to see who the fuck putting their money where their mouth is,
Yep.
and where the rubber meets the road on these companies that say we going to do shit. Target said they invest in $10 million. Jordan Brand going to invest $100 million. Walmart going to invest $100 million. Lowe's is going to invest $25 million. And other companies are coming out every day with plans. Now, we had some surprise turn of events in this situation because NASCAR said that we getting rid of all the Confederate fucking flags.
And white people lost their fucking mind.
Of course, it's fucking NASCAR. It's white people fucking holiday. NASCAR is. And a driver named Ray Cicerelli said he's leaving NASCAR because he don't like the direction it's headed.
Apparently, he sucked as a driver, though. So
he did
it's
suck
not
as a
like he
driver
was winning.
because Kev on stage roasted his ass. He said this man has zero. He's never placed. He has zero leads. He had like everything is zero. And he said he is really honoring the Confederacy very well with his record because they ain't do shit and he ain't do shit, basically.
Yeah.
But the fact that NASCAR came out saying that we getting rid of all of these things is a good thing. The fact that the Navy came out and said everything with Confederate flags on it can get the fuck on. I mean, this is a moment where we can say, hey, this shit is changing, y'all. This shit is changing. We need to figure out what to do. I'm going down the list, so these might be out of order. Starbucks came out and was like, hey, y'all employees can't wear no Black Lives Matter shit. And that the backlash came out. And then after that, Starbucks flipped that shit around real fast. Y'all can wear it because this is the wrong time. And this is one of them situations where you got a company saying some shit out loud because before they said that, they said we support the black community. And then when a black girl wore some Black Lives Matter shit, they was like, you can't wear no Black Lives Matter shit. But then when they got all the backlash that they got in this moment of what's going on, then they reversed that shit and was like, you can do it. But it's only so many times you can flip flop on black folks and for them to like forgive you and be like, okay, we cool. It's only so many times.
Yeah, because their reasoning didn't even make sense. Their reasoning was that it was, we could cause it's a controversial, diversive topic. But you got people celebrating pride at Starbucks. So it's not the controversy because that's going to be controversial for a lot of people that may have issues with the LGBTQ plus community. So the whole thing about it being, controversial is bullshit.
If I was Star Wars PR team, I would have said that. I said Star Wars.
You did.
I'm at my aunt's house and she is a Star Wars buff, and we was watching Screen Junkie Star Wars episodes last night. So my bad. Even though if y'all listen to the podcast and notice, I be missaying a lot of shit a lot of times. But Starbucks. What was I finna fucking say? What was the last thing you said?
About them not caring about pride. I mean, not caring about them wearing pride stuff, but saying it was a controversial topic, but Black Lives Matter is controversial.
Oh, my God. I forgot. Oh, if I was their PR manager, I would have said, because of our value for Black lives and the fact that there are problematic actors out there that create unnecessary aggression towards sentiments that support Black, in order to protect our employees, we don't want to create a situation where a person may engage poorly with that person and put them in a situation where they're uncomfortable. I would say some shit like that. Like we don't want no white people coming here starting no shit with our employees because it's an employee safety issue. I'll say some shit like that. It still would have been bullshit to the Black community, but it's way better than what they fucking said.
True.
Jay Farrow, Jay Farrow released a video because he had a bad encounter with the LAPD. He was jogging through a neighborhood with his, hoodie on, and he was running. And the police, he had his headset on, and he looked up and saw police, and he was like, man, they finna get somebody, goddamn. And it was him. Like, they told him to get his ass on the ground. And they put him on the ground, they spread him, they put his knee on his neck, and he said, y'all Google Jay Farrow and y'all gonna realize how much y'all done fucked up. basically. But he put out the footage of that shit happening, and it's like on the back of George Floyd, on the back of Ahmaud Arbery. Um, that's fucked up, man. It's
Yeah.
so fucked up that this is really continuing to happen during this time. Like they can't even help it, bro. Like the police can't even fucking help it. Um, that takes us into Rayshard Brooks, which man, this is the quickest a video ever came out. A man died um by the hands of the police in Atlanta on Friday because he was asleep in a Wendy's parking lot. And they released the video, and what they saying is that well, they released the video. Basically what happened was he was asleep in the Wendy's parking lot. The police came, he got out, they was having what looked like a docile conversation. And what happened was one of the police officers, without saying some shit like, look, sir, we're going to take you in, we're going to arrest you. One of the officers just tried to grab his hands and handcuff him. Like, no regard for the fact that this is a person that you're about to try to arrest. He just went, and that put the black man in like defense mode. And so these two white cops trying to get him, and he fucking whooped their ass. Both of them. He got out of their shit, took one of them taser and started running. And what happened is, I think he was tased, but when he tried to, it looked like he tried to turn around to use the taser on the officer, and the officer shot him in the back 3 times. Which means, I don't know why this article is titled this. It says that Rayshard Brooks' autopsy reveals that he died of 2 gunshots to the back. Fucking duh, nigga. Like, what the fuck else did you think that he died from? You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it is they burnt that Wendy's to the ground, and people keep saying, well, why they burn the Wendy's to the ground? What is that gonna do? Why are you burning up these establishments? What's that gonna do? Because if a motherfucking black man is asleep in the fucking drive-thru, not causing a problem, and y'all's best instinct is to call the police and they come and kill a motherfucker, fuck you. Fuck you and fuck your business practices, because if you couldn't just send a manager out there, shake that man up and have him park or whatever, then fuck you. Your motherfucking establishment need either new rules or it need to be fucking rebuilt, as far as I give a fuck. Because that's the same issue with George Floyd. A motherfucking 17-year-old thought that he had a $20 bill that was fake and called the police on him. And you know what? The owner of that convenience store said that if he was working that shift, he would not have called the police on George Floyd. And so calling the police is a liability. And if you somebody in the community that can't find out better ways to deal with shit than to call the police on black people, knowing that the police have black people, you ain't no better than that motherfucking Karen in the park. And your shit don't deserve to be out here if that's the case, So I'm not saying it don't deserve to be out here. I mean, I'm saying that, but it's enough nuance to this to say that they went to the extreme measure of dealing with what seemed like a simple issue to fix. Like, just get that man his fucking food and let his drunk ass get pulled over on his own. Don't make this shit something that it's not at this moment. Okay. But I got a few more things. Breonna's law passed unanimously, which in Louisville, Kentucky, bans no-knock raids. If you know Breonna Taylor, a no-knock raid, no-knock warrant, where basically the judge grants you a warrant to not knock on the door. And ironically, the reason is because they think that if you knock on the door and announce yourself as a cop to a home of a drug dealer, that they're going to shoot you. But it turns out that if you don't knock and just go into the fucking house, somebody's going to fucking shoot you. And so, and you know what? The dude who shot the police officer, her boyfriend, they arrested him, but then a judge let him go. And the police officers are mad because they let him go. It's like you broke into his house, you shot him. You shot his girlfriend. He shot back at you, and it was the wrong house. But we know this whole situation. But Breonna's law passed, and it's about banning no-knock warrants in this city. And from that, Rand Paul has put up some legislation to completely ban no-knock warrants. And that's, good. Dave Chappelle released a Netflix special. It came out on YouTube first, and it was pretty much about what's going on. It's called 846, and that's the amount of time that they kneeled on that man's neck before he died, George Floyd. And so it was more social commentary with little specks of humor in it. And he talked about Don Lemon and Candace Owens, to which they both responded positively to him roasting them. Candace Owens flipped that shit into some, black shit. Last one is that Band-Aid to announce a launch of black and brown flesh tone bandages after 99 fucking years.
I mean,
you could say better late than never, but I don't know. It just depends on who you are and how you want to look at the situation. That being said, that's about all I got. Oh, there's a brand at Target that is a black-owned brand that's been selling black Band-Aids, so don't buy Band-Aid brand black and brown Band-Aids unless you have to. Go get the ones from Target. They've been doing the shit already anyway. And you support a black business. I think it's a black business. But that being said, that's all I got. You got anything else on your mind, man?
I do not.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation,
We out.
holla.